All right, it's your girl Sandra D, the main event, and welcome to my channel and welcome to my community of love and unity. We will not be talking about hair. We will not be talking about food. Today we are on the journey of talking about the narcissist. And if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Now today we're going to get into the topic of why the narcissist has a hard time of letting go of their past. And this would also include supply. So the narcissist is a person who has been traumatized in their life and they have unhealed trauma. And that unhealed trauma that they have is the reason why they mistreat and abuse relationships that they are in. And the narcissist will not admit or look themselves in the mirror to even admit the mistakes that they have done. And if they do, it's not because they feel bad or they feel sorry for what they did. No, the realization has hit them that they don't have supply. So they're going to give you this fake apology, these fake tears, these fake promises that they'll do better. And they might for a little bit, but it's going to go right back to what they were doing before, which was manipulating you, deceiving you, mistreating you, making you walk on eggshells, trying to reflect pain on you because they're still tormented from their own past. So the abuse that the narcissist does to supply is the abuse that they have from that unhealed trauma. So what's going on is that the narcissist is actually abusing you from the abuse that they still have not healed from when they had got hurt, whatever type of hurt that could have been. And they try to get supply to relieve themselves from avoiding healing and trying to avoid pains that they still feel, and rightfully so. If you're not healing from the pain and you're not doing anything to help yourself and you're just sweeping it under the rug, then all you're doing is still being a part of the problem, which is why narcissists are toxic. They are toxic because they refuse, to recognize and realize that they have been hurt and that they are broken. And that the person or persons that have hurt them, that has caused this trauma, these are traumas that happen in their past. It doesn't mean that someone has hurt them, in relationships as an adult, because a narcissist does not understand the difference. And if they did understand the difference, they don't want to accept that because they don't know how to handle, or they don't know how to separate the two between someone that cares, that is giving you a correction, versus someone who is actually trying to hurt you or harm you. To a narcissist, it all looks the same. So when you see the narcissist bugging out, because they didn't get their way, they're just an adult having a temper tantrum as a little child because they're reverting back and remembering what happened to them when they was traumatized. So when they're throwing that narcissistic fit, what they're really telling you is about a hurt that happened to them that traumatized them, and they don't know how to communicate it. The only thing they know how to do is to respond by attacking, because they have learned this behavior by creating this alter ego. Now, that doesn't mean it makes it right, because you did everything you could, to nurture, to show the narcissist that you're not the person of their past. But the narcissist doesn't see it that way because the only thing they see is the reflection of what happened in their past. So that trauma that they're still holding on to because they're not healed is what they do in relationships, which is a repeated cycle. And so when you see the narcissist popping up, you know, like the pop, that goes that narcissist, that's from childhood. That is the narcissist coming around for whatever had happened to them when they were a kid, to where they're, you know, wanting to be accepted. Because the narcissist doesn't take the responsibility for what had happened in the relationship as an adult, because they feel that when they were a child, they didn't have to take the responsibility because it wasn't their fault to what had happened when they were a kid. Okay? Now, it's not your job to heal a narcissist. And it's not your job to put yourself in a role as someone that can fix the narcissist, because you cannot. There is nothing that you can do for the narcissist to bring the narcissist out of the trauma that they went through. They have to go to a professional. They need to seek and get on their knees and talk to Jesus, because you can't help the narcissist. The narcissist has to help themselves. And it is not a good idea whatsoever to continue being in a relationship with someone that will continuously hurt you because they're hurting. Now, does that mean that you have some sympathy? Well, yeah. But that doesn't mean that you sacrifice your life for someone who's not willing to do the work. The narcissist has to heal from those traumas. And the narcissist may, you know, ask you to go with them and things in that nature, but this is something that the narcissist is going to have to do. You can't hold their hand like that. You cannot be a crutch to the narcissist. The narcissist has to learn how to stand on their own 2 feet. The narcissist has to learn how to have relationships and understand the difference between a good one and a bad one. Now, they do have this shell because they don't want to be hurt again, but also at the same time, you know, you're going to sometimes get your feelings hurt, but it's not because someone is trying to hurt you, you know, because they're trying to harm you. That's not the case. You know, sometimes your feelings will get hurt because sometimes, you know, when you get that revelation of what's going on, the truth hurts. But that doesn't make you a bad person because you tell someone the truth. It makes you a bad person if you don't. Because then all that does is show an individual, and I'm not just talking about a narcissist, that you can't be trusted because you cannot be honest. You won't, you know, come forth and be honest. And, you know, I can understand that dealing with a narcissist, sometimes that's not an easy pill to swallow when you're telling the narcissist, you know, straight up the truth, because you're going to see this person revert back to a little child, you know, and want to be argumentative with you and want to shift blame and want to play the victim. And it's like, you're not a victim. You have been victimized, but you can't hold on to those things of the past, because as long as you stay in the past, you will never enjoy your future, and you won't have one because you're stuck back in that trauma. So I'm not saying and making this video as a way of excusing the narcissist for their behavior. Hell no. Because at the end of the day, the narcissist is a grown ass person who has a responsibility of being healthy and healed from these past wounds and traumas. Because the narcissist cannot be a part of your life. You can't go around mistreating people and then turning around and thinking that because you have done this thing and you done had this past of trauma and hurt and you ain't doing nothing about it but complaining and playing victim and reliving the whole vicious cycle all over again, and then you casting it on the people that are in your life. Well, they do that at? That's not fair. That's not right. And then you want to justify that behavior? That's not justifiable at all. And then you want to hurt people, treat them like trash, like they done did you some harm and some bad, when all they did was do you good. But you want to blame somebody that's innocent for something that you're not willing to heal from. So now you're the villain going around hurting people. Going around acting like they're the issue, they're the problem. No, your behavior is what's causing the issue and the problems that you have. These narcissists know that they have issues. They know that they have problems, and they want people to accept them for who, for themselves. But how are you going to do that when they couldn't even show you who the hell they was when you first met them? They lied to you from day one and manipulated and then have the audacity to use witchcraft. Just to try to keep somebody in their life. Just so that they can sit there and get some temporary relief from some entities that they allowed to keep in their life. Because they decided to keep being tormented that way. You didn't come by chance by the narcissist. You probably was their way for invitation into seeing Christ. And you may not have been the first one. There may have been plenty of people that then came across the narcissist. And don't get me wrong, not everybody gets saved at the first invitation when someone says something to you. Let's just keep it real and let's just keep it a buck. But also at the same time, the invitation was extended. The invitation was sent out. The invitation was given. And the narcissist looked at it like it wasn't nothing. But then yet and still, they want your gifts. Them come from God. Make it make sense, you guys. They want to try to be and attach themselves to your life. And it's like, you can't do that. It's not allowed. And I'm not going to allow you to do so. Because who the Son sets free is free indeed. And when you are chosen one, you're not going to allow someone to think that that's okay, that they can do that, because you can't. You are not allowed to come back, ever. I don't want to hear your story. Nor does the people want to hear your story that, you want to return and come back. Don't nobody care. Because you put the people in the position to not to. Nobody wants to hear those excuses. The narcissist didn't even want to hear no excuses. If you didn't have something done, you was walking around on eggshells. So why should you give a narcissist a pass? You don't. They have to look themselves in the mirror. And they know that they need to take the time that they need to heal from them past traumas. And quit trying to make people, your problem and saying that they're the problem when no, you got issues. The narcissist knows that they got issues. They just don't want to change and think that the type of behavior and the abuse that they do is okay when they know it's not. It's no surprise to a narcissist that they keep losing supply. You're supposed to. Nobody's punching bag. You can't treat people and then come with the fake, I'm sorry, I apologize, I didn't mean it. Yes, you did. You did mean it. Because this behavior you have, you learned it and you perfected it that way. The narcissist will never be able to hold supply. Not grade A supply. Not a chosen one. Ain't no future in the frontin'. So the reason why the narcissist holds on to the past is because they're still broken. They have unhealed traumas that they have not addressed. And it will continue to be bad being in a relationship with a narcissist. And they continue the cycle of abuse. I'll see you guys in the next video.